then when certain companies are really good to it, they will converge. This is the idea. And ultimately, AI is not confined to one nationality or to one like set of morals for what it should mean. And there's a lot of arguments on like, should we stop open sourcing models? And if the US stops, it's pretty clear. I mean, it's way easier to see now at DeepSeek that a different international body will be the one that builds it. We talk about the cost of training. DeepSeek has this shocking $5 million number. Think about how many entities in the world can afford 100 times that to have the best open source model that people use in the world. And it's like, it's a scary reality, which is that these open models are probably going to keep coming for the time being, whether or not we want to stop them. And it is like stopping them might make it even worse and harder to prepare. But it just means that the preparation and understanding what AI can do is just so much more important. That's why I'm here at the end of the day. But it's like letting that sink into people, especially not in AI, is that like this is coming. There are some structural things in a global interconnected world that you have to accept.
Yeah, you mentioned, you sent me something that Mark Zuckerberg mentioned on an earnings call. He said that I think in light of some of the recent news, the new competitor DeepSeek from China, I think it's one of the things that we're talking about is there's going to be an open source standard globally. And I think for our kind of national advantage, it's important that it's an American standard. So we take that seriously. We want to build the AI system that people around the world are using. And I think that if anything, some of the recent news has only strengthened our conviction that this is the right thing to be focused on. So yeah, open sourcing.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg is not new to having American values and how he presents his company's trajectory. I think their products have long since been banned in China, and I respect the saying it directly.
And there's an interesting aspect of just because it's open weights or open source doesn't mean it can't be subverted, right? There have been many open source software bugs that have been like, for example, there was a Linux bug that was found after like 10 years, which was clearly a backdoor because somebody was like, why is this taking, half a second to load?
The recent one.
Right? Like, why is this taking half a second to load? And it was like, oh, crap, there's a backdoor here. That's why. Right? And it's like, this is very much possible with AI models, right? Today, the alignment of these models is very clear, right? Like, I'm not going to say, bad words. I'm not going to teach you how to make anthrax. I'm not going to talk about Tiananmen Square. I'm not going to, things like, I'm going to say Taiwan is part of, is just an Eastern province, right? Like,
Right.
All these things are like, depending on who you are, what you align, what, whether, and even like XAI is aligned a certain way, right? They might be, it's not aligned in the like woke sense. It's not aligned in the like pro-China sense, but there is certain things that are imbued within the model. Now, when you release this publicly in an instruct model that's open weights, this can then proliferate, right? But as these systems get more and more capable, what you can embed deep down in the model is not as clear, right? And so that is like one of the big fears is like, if an American model or a Chinese model is the top model, right, you're going to embed things that are unclear. And it could be unintentional too, right? Like British English is dead because American LLMs won, right? And the internet is American, and therefore like color is spelled the way Americans spell it, right? And this is just
strong words right now.
this is just the factual nature of the LLMs.
It's like Carpathy tweeted that English is the hottest programming language, and that English is defined by a bunch of companies that primarily are in San Francisco.
The right way to spell optimization is with a Z. Just in case people are listening, because I think it's an S in British English.
It is.
Taking it to something silly, right? Like something as silly as the spelling, like which British and English, Brits and Americans will like laugh about, probably, right? I don't think we care that much, but like some people will. But like this can boil down into like very, very important topics, like hey, subverting people, right? Chatbots, right? Character AI has shown that they can like talk to kids and or adults, and like it will like people feel a certain way, right? And that's unintentional alignment. But like, what happens when there's intentional alignment deep down on the open source standard? It's a backdoor today for like Linux, right? That we discover, or some encryption system, right?